Hello, I'm Professor Scott McDermott, and I'd like to welcome you to History 2112, Spring 2018, Bterm. Yes, I hope you all had a wonderful spring break. We've been having beautiful weather, but all good things must come to an end, and now it's time to get to work on this Bterm course. But I'm very happy to have all of you as students in this course, U.S. History after 1877. So we're going to start in the 19th century, talking about manifest destiny, relationships with the Indians, some of the immigrant groups that were here, some problems with urbanization. And then we're going to focus on Jim Crow, that is the discriminatory legislation against African Americans passed during the 1890s, and we'll move forward from there. Now, there are a few things I really want to emphasize, things that will help you a lot. The first is simply read the syllabus, which you will find in the Start Here folder on our Georgia View D2L course page. Also, you need to read a second document in the Start Here folder called the Order of Assignments. Please take the time to sit down and read these, print them out and read through them, or at least get on a real computer and read through them, because as we all know, you can't really read anything on your phone, handy as they are. So really read these documents. It'll take about 10 minutes, and it will save you so much time and so much heartache later if you do. Second, please be aware that B-term courses move very fast, okay? I am required to give the same amount of content in this course that I give in my full-term courses in half the time. And it moves very quickly. There are 9 modules that we're working through in this course, and the average length of each module will be about 5 days. And so this is the kind of course where you really can't take a couple of days off. You've got to keep moving forward day after day after day, or you're going to really fall behind. And that's going to very much hurt your grade. Third, this course is probably going to be unlike any other course that you've ever had in college, even online courses, because the way I structure it, especially the discussion boards, is a little different from the way other professors do things. And when you read through the procedure for the discussion board on the syllabus the first time, it may be a little confusing to you, but really it's very simple. So in each module, you're going to normally read what historians call a primary source document. That's a document that was written at the time that we're studying by an eyewitness to the history that we're learning about. And each person has been assigned to a group. There are 3 groups. Everybody belongs to group 1, group 2, or group 3. And basically, there are usually going to be 2 or 3, sometimes more discussion questions about each document in the course. And every individual is going to post his or her answer to those questions based on the document. And then once every individual posts his or her answer, then the group on the discussion board is going to talk about it, talk about all the answers, and try to develop one group answer that everybody can agree on. So we're moving from individual answers to one group answer for each discussion question. And that requires discussion, obviously. That's the whole point. I want you guys to have a real dialogue, a meaningful exchange of ideas on these discussion boards, okay? In order to make that happen, there's a deadline within each module by which you must make your first post for each question. So you're going to go in, for each question you click Start a New Thread. And that is how you're going to post your individual answer to each discussion question. And you must do that normally by the third day of the module. So in this first module on Manifest Destiny, the deadline for your initial posts, that is your first posts, is 11:59 p.m. on Wednesday, March 14th. And the reason we have this extra deadline for the initial posts is kind of obvious when you think about it. So if we didn't have this deadline, then probably a lot of people would just post their initial answer at the last minute on the last day of the module. And then, of course, we wouldn't have any time to get a real discussion going. And the point is that we want to have a group discussion, a real sharing of ideas. And so to make that happen, you must make your initial posts before the end of the module. And like I said, in this module, it's March 14th, Wednesday, 11:59 p.m. To make those first posts for all three discussion questions on Manifest Destiny. In this first module, you'll also have a self-introduction exercise as well, just in Module 1. But it's those discussion questions you have that deadline for. Also, to help the groups come to their group answer for each question, I always appoint a chair. And I'm asking for volunteers to serve as chair in Module 1. The job of the chair is simply to read everyone's posts, point out areas of agreement and disagreement between different people's answers, and then once those disagreements have been worked out, the chair will post a suggested answer that he or she thinks will work for the group's answer. Then everyone will weigh in on that and say yes or no, or maybe tweak this answer. And then the final thing the chair has to do is to post the final answer for the group on a thread which I have posted called the answer thread. And by the way, all the discussion takes place on the thread called Focus. That's where you focus your discussion. So after you make your initial post, then you continue the discussion by replying, hitting reply to that Focus thread. And then the final thing is the chair posts the group answer on the answer thread for each question. Okay? To make this a little sweeter for the volunteers to be chair, if you volunteer to be chair and if you do an excellent job and follow all my instructions exactly for doing that, you will be excused from the final exam and you will get full credit for the final exam, a perfect score. All right, so the phone lines are open for volunteers, or rather my email address is open. By the way, all my contact info is on the syllabus, so please, if you have any questions about any of this, don't hesitate to get in touch. I'm here to help. Now, finally, you might be asking the question, why are you doing this to us? Why are you putting us through this procedure? Well, really, it isn't that difficult. You will get the hang of it. Probably by the second module, you'll be all pros at this. But more importantly, I do it because I feel like it's my responsibility to give you a real learning experience in this course. It would be a lot easier for me if I just uploaded quizzes, canned quizzes from a textbook and had you read a chapter in a textbook and take a reading quiz that the computer grades for me. That would be so much easier for me. But I just don't do that because in my mind that isn't a great learning experience. And I really, really believe that all truth comes through dialogue, through discussion. I don't have the whole truth about history. The author of the textbook doesn't have the whole truth about history. That's why our textbook readings are optional. Their textbook is only recommended for this course, not required. Okay? I think the truth emerges through meaningful discussion between people. And that's what this procedure on the discussion boards is meant to promote. It may be a little time consuming at first, especially, but just think of all the time you're saving by not having to read that stupid textbook. Instead, you have the pleasure of sharing ideas with your peers and with me in an interesting form on the discussion boards. So I'm really looking forward to our discussions in this short Bterm. Let's really hit the ground running and not fall behind because, like I said, things move very fast. And once again, please do not hesitate to contact me if I can be of assistance. If you have any questions at all, I'm very happy to help. Welcome aboard.